Hey, what is up, everybody? I am here to give you my WWE Smackdown review for November 5th, 2015. Now, before I actually start watching the show, because it's not actually on yet, but it's probably going to be started by the time I finish this portion of the video, everyone's going to probably want me to give my opinion on what's going on with Seth Rollins and the WWE World Heavyweight Championship scene. And I'm not going to give my thoughts on it. Okay. Hold on. I accidentally turned the TV on. Okay. But yeah, I'm not going to give my thoughts on it in this video. Because, one, it's probably going to be irrelevant because I think SmackDown was obviously taped. I think he got injured around yesterday. So I don't think it's going to really be a factor on this show. And I'm also just going to wait until the Massasoit Wrestling Corner, which you can check out right up here. On my Wrestling 1444 channel, which you can also check out down there tomorrow, just because of the fact that it's just going to be more of a topic there. Unless I have to talk about it, unless they bring it up, I will talk about it. But yeah, I'm not going to talk about it in this video. But yeah, for SmackDown, I'm going to do what I always do. If you've watched me do videos like this where I talk, well, I don't always do this, but most of the time I'll do this. Hold on, my phone just went off. Let me vibrate it. Okay. I'm going to do what I sometimes like to do and just watch the show and then make small, as it goes to commercial, make small videos and combine them to big videos and just watch the show as it goes on. I like doing it that way. It's kind of like me watching it like in a live experience sort of way and me giving in my review as it happens. I already know two matches that are going to happen that look pretty good. We have like a traditional Survivor Series match on Raw. It's the Wyatt family versus the Lucha Dragons and the Primetime Players. Obviously, we know who's going to win that. It's probably going to be the Wyatt family because they have to build them up as threats to the Brothers of Destruction. And then it's gonna be Kevin Owens versus Dean Ambrose, which should be a solid match there. This is probably going to be used to set up an Intercontinental Championship match at Survivor Series between the two, which I don't even know if it's gonna happen now, but it's probably going to be what it was supposed to be used for. But yeah, now that I've given my thoughts, let's start watching the show. Okay, so we get Booker T, Rich Brennan, and Jerry the King Lawler on commentary, which I'm surprised Lawler was there since he just had that car accident a week ago. Even though he didn't get injured, I figured he would get this week off, but I guess not. He does actually bring it up too, actually, a little bit in the show. And the first thing that happens is Alberto Del Rio and Zeb Coulter come out, and Del Rio says that the Coulter talks about how the reason that him and Del Rio are together is because Mexican has good resources and they're gonna form Mex America, and he just sees haters all around. Everybody that doesn't agree with them are just haters, and then that was about it. I thought it was a good promo. And then Del Rio has a match with Neville, and it was a pretty good match here. Neville looked really strong in the match, and it looked like he could have won at some points. Del Rio hit a sick backbreaker on him, and then Neville hit a sick moonsault on the inside, and then a Hurricanrana into a pin, and then Del Rio gets Neville in the trio roll position, and Neville's squirming to get out of it, and then Del Rio hits the double stomp, hits the Warriors Way for the win, and afterwards Del Rio gets in the ring, kicks Neville in the head, and then gets him in the cross arm breaker, and then Jack Swagger comes out to make the save, and they have a face-off for a little bit, and Del Rio leaves. I thought this was a good opening segment here. It was actually pretty good. It wasn't bad. Okay, so now the Usos make their SmackDown return and face the Ascension. It was an alright match. I really wish they would utilize the Ascension a lot better. Originally, I think this was supposed to, if they had booked the Ascension right, they could have gotten a WrestleMania match out of this, but whatever. And the Usos win when one of the Usos hits a splash for the win. I forget who they hit it on, but I knew they were going to win, so it doesn't matter. They just don't utilize the Ascension really that well, so, And it's the return. Why would they lose on their return? I am glad the Usos are back, though. I think they can make the tag team division good again, because the tag team division is pretty good right now. I hope they book them better than they did now that they've returned, and don't make them bland, because they kind of got a little bit bland last time, so I hope they book them a little bit better this time. Okay, so we get the traditional Survivor Series tag team match, even though this is SmackDown, not Survivor Series. And it was the Wyatt family versus the Primetime Players and the Lucha Dragons. What a waste of time this was. I mean, it was an alright match, but it was really just to show how strong the Wyatt family is. They completely squashed them and not got no eliminations. The Wyatt family just completely eliminated every member of the team. And I don't get it because the Primetime Players are a good tag team. They were tag team champions not that long ago. They just had Titus O'Neil cut that promo for the breast cancer month. And then you have the Lucha Dragons, who they're trying to build up to be #1 contenders for the WWE tag titles. So they're jobbing out to the Wyatt family. I didn't understand it, but whatever. It's a waste of time, and you know, you can't waste people's time. That's one thing you don't want to waste. You don't want to waste water, resources, and time. Time's a big no-no. You don't be doing that. You don't waste people's time. Ain't nobody got time to watch this match. You know what I could have been doing while this match was on? I could have been finishing up Bad Blood 2003, which I'm going to be reviewing on the Master Story Wrestling Corner tomorrow, which you can check out right up there. But I could have been reviewing Bad Blood from 2003. Well, not reviewing it, but watching it. But I had to watch this match. What a waste of time and what a joke this match was. It was just to accomplish to make the Wyatt family look strong. And like I said, it doesn't matter how strong you make Bray Wyatt or any member of the Wyatt families look, because I lost faith in Bray Wyatt because they don't make him look strong. He loses every feud he's in, and he cuts weird promos. But, so yeah, there's that. But the eliminations occurred. Braun Strowman hit his weak choke that didn't even look like it choked Darren Young. It looked like he got choked more by the ropes. Get a new finisher, buddy. That would be respectable, please. But he got counted out after that because he was outside the ring. Luke Harper eliminates Sin Cara after a discus clothesline. And by the way, Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman are lazy pieces of shit because Eric Rowan and Luke Harper had to wrestle the whole match pretty much. Bray Wyatt went in there a few times, and Braun Strowman just went in there like a few times during the match. What a lazy piece of shit they are. You're there to wrestle. You're not there to stand around on a wind apron and stand around and sit in a rocking chair. You're there to wrestle. You're a full-time wrestler. You wrestle. You don't sit around in a rocking chair and stand on a wind apron. I understand it's a tag team match, but you got to do your part of the tag team match. Get in there and wrestle. Do it. But anyhow, Eric Rowan eliminates Kalisto with a full Nelson slam. And the WWE wondered why they needed to bring back Alberto Del Rio to the Mexican star, because, or a Latino star, I should say, when they had one named Kalisto, but they job him out all the time. And then Titus O'Neil has to fight him all himself, and he just jobs out and gets choked out by Strowman, and Bray Wyatt hits his sister Abigail on him. The Wyatts look strong in this match, only because Luke Harper and Eric Rowan did all the work. Even Strowman did more work than Bray Wyatt did because he choked him out before Wyatt hit his finish on him. And Wyatt just sits there, doesn't do nothing. Braun Strowman did more in the match than Bray Wyatt did. Bray Wyatt, you gotta start doing stuff. You gotta stop being lazy. You're a cult leader, I understand that. But you gotta do your share. When Wade Barrett wasn't the leader of the Nexus, he did his share in the group. You gotta do your share. Do your share. This is a group. Everybody does equal work. That's what the Shield did. That's what Evolution did. And that's what the Four Horsemen did. And that's what every other group. Stop being a lazy piece of shit, Bray Wyatt, and do your share in the group. Because if this keeps happening, you're going to make me lose faith in you even more. Because that's why I'm also losing faith. It's because the way you're booked, which, by the way, Bray, that's not just on the creative. That's on you too, buddy, because you have creative control of your character. And that's also on you just being a lazy piece of shit. So stop being a lazy piece of shit. And Braun Strowman, just get out of wrestling because you don't know how to wrestle. Just get out of the wrestling business. Go away. Go back to being a rosebud. And Eric Rowan, you're not as bad as them, but you're pretty bad yourself. Luke Harper, keep doing what you're doing. Try to get yourself over in the company. That would be appreciated. So Luke Harper's doing just fine. And I hope he goes somewhere. Bray Wyatt's good, but he's just lazy, and his character's bad. Braun Strowman is just bad, and Eric Rowan is slightly less bad than Braun Strowman. So I'm just giving you guys advice here, trying to help you guys out. But anyhow, it was random. Afterwards, Dean Ambrose gets interviewed about his match with Kevin Owens, and he talks about how he woke up and heard John Denver singing a song to him from the spirit world, and he cuts this weird promo, and Kevin Owens comes up, he's like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "You're annoying Renee Young," and you have to remember that tonight you're wrestling the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. And Dean Ambrose is like, and then he tells him that you don't know anything about that because you've never been a champion or the greatest of all time. And then Dean Ambrose, well, no, he didn't say that because he technically has been a champion, but he's never held the Intercontinental title, I think he was trying to say. Well, he's saying that he's not a champion right now. And then Dean Ambrose says that he pinned him on Raw, but Kevin Owens says that was just a tag team match. This is one-on-one. And then Dean Ambrose, and then when he walks away, Dean Ambrose tells Renee Young that John Denver warned me about him. So I thought the dynamics between Kevin Owens and Dean Ambrose were really good. I can't wait to see them feud over the IC title because this could be a very solid feud for the Intercontinental Championship. But overall, the Wyatt family stuff didn't care for, but the backstage segment between Ambrose and Owens I thought was good. Okay, so we get Ken Barrett versus Ryback. Ryback cuts a lot of those little video promos talking about how he's gonna feast on Ken Barrett because have a royal feast on him. He's gonna destroy him, and Ken Barrett dominates the whole match, and then Ryback beats him with Shell Shock randomly out of nowhere. Okay. Yeah, good stuff. Not really. It wasn't alright, I guess. And then Team Bad gets interviewed, and they said they attacked Natalya because she wanted attention. I mean, they didn't really give like much of a reason, but whatever. And we find out that Natalya challenged the leader of Team Bad to face him in a match. And Naomi says, we know exactly what Natalya's trying to do. She's trying to split us up, but we're not that gullible. And she said that tonight the leader is going to take care of Natalya. And then Sasha Banks says, damn right she is. And then when she walks away, Naomi gets this weird look on her face. So I think they're teasing dissension between Team Bad, which I think is a good move because they need to stop splitting up these teams in the Divas division. So I'm really happy they're doing that. I hope it's Naomi though, because I'd rather have Natalya and Sasha Banks saved for a pay-per-view match. So we're gonna have to wait and see what happens with that. Okay, so now we have Natalya versus the leader of Team Bad, and Naomi and Sasha Banks are fighting over who should be in the match. So then Tamina just steps up and says, "I got this." So it ends up being Tamina Snuka. It's a pretty boring match. I mean, Natalya did some stuff in the match, I guess. No, it was boring. It was just boring. Team Bad keeps trying to interfere, but it doesn't work, and Natalya beats her with the roll-up. It was, just, like I said, a boring match, and then afterwards, Team Bad tries to attack her, but she escapes before they can touch her. And that was really it there. Well, they just announced what happened with Seth Rollins, so I figured I'd come talk about it now. I'm actually going to read the article because it's probably easier for me to do it that way. So that way I'll remember everything. Let me get the article up. Hold on 1 sec. I gotta find it. So let me read off the article. The article was called Seth Rollins Suffers Knee Injury. New WWE World Heavyweight Champion to be crowned at Survivor Series. So you're going to see what happens. And it says, WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins has torn his ACL, MCL, and metal meniscus and will not be able to defend the title against Roman Reigns at Survivor Series. So that's pretty sad right there. I'm going to talk about this for a number of reasons. One, because they really put a lot of faith in Seth Rollins, and it kind of sucks he got injured like that. He's one of the top heels in the company, and he's just great. He's been the guy that they've been giving the consistent push to out of the new stars, even though I don't think they've been booking him to his potential and booking him properly as a heel champion. I thought he still has been getting pushes. He's wrestled legends. He's main evented like half the pay-per-views this year, and they've really put a lot of emphasis in Seth Rollins, so I think it kind of sucks that he got injured. And, you know, he would have been... I think they were getting ready to launch off a face turn for him between him and Triple H. So that kind of sucks. And I think he would have broken CM Punk's reign as longest reigning WWE champion in the modern era. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think he would have broken it, but I think he would have... He probably would have like just broken it, then lost the title or something. And then, because he was the champion for like over 200 days, so I think that kind of sucks. And I just find it weird. If anyone doesn't know how he got injured, by the way, he was trying to powerbomb. He got injured at a live event. He was trying to do a powerbomb through a table to Kane, and then he landed one. There's actually a video of it that I posted on my Facebook page if you want to see it. But yeah, I think that kind of sucks. And then it just seems like too every time they try to go all the way with the Roman Reigns Seth Rollins feud, something happens. Last year at Night of Champions, they tried to do it, and then Roman Reigns got injured because he had his hernia injured. Now this time Seth Rollins got injured, so it seems like every time they try to go all the way with a rivalry between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, something happens where they can't go all the way with it. So that kind of sucks. He's going to be out to 6 to 8 months. Well, 6 to 9 months, actually. So he's going to miss WrestleMania 32, which is going to suck for him because he was probably going to get like a featured match, like I said, with Triple H, or the triple threat match that I heard they wanted to do between him, Roman Reigns, and Brock Lesnar. So I just think that kind of sucks for him. And it just fucks for him because he was on top, too. So, however, I think there is a positive here, though. I know there's not a positive to getting injured, but I feel like when he finally comes back, he's going to get a big pop, and maybe they'll turn him face that way. Then he'll come back, and that's the way they'll turn Seth Rollins face. Another thing that sucks about it, too, is now the Authority don't really have a reason to be on TV now. Now they'll just be randomly there, so I don't think they should have the Authority really on TV anymore. But now they have to change their Survivor Series plans too, which sucks for them, because now the build to Survivor Series is going to be hurt a little bit, because they were actually doing a good job building to Survivor Series. But here's what's going to happen instead at Survivor Series. A tournament to determine a new champion will instead take place at the event. So I'm actually happy they're doing a tournament instead. I think it's going to be like that Deadly Games tournament they did in 1998. So I think that's going to be cool. I'm not really sure who's going to be in it. There's a lot of possibilities. Obviously, I think Roman Reigns is going to be in it because he was the #1 contender anyway, so I would think he would be in it. I don't know if he'd be like automatically in the finals. I wouldn't complain if that happened, but then he would be a heel if that happened. So, obviously, Wyatt family members are going to be in it because they're busy doing stuff with the Brothers of Destruction. Maybe like Cesaro, Tyler Breeze, even though technically it's still early, but he could be in it. Stardust, Dolph Ziggler. I'm trying to think here. Dean Ambrose, Kevin Owens. They'll probably have to change their Survivor Series plans now. And it continues. I'm going to talk about this more in the Massasoit Wrestling Corner tomorrow, which you can click up there to just check out. As first reported on Twitter by ESPN, Rollins suffered the injury last night at a WWE live event in Dublin, Ireland, and is expected to miss 6 to 9 months of action, which sucks for him. And then this is a tweet that Jonathan Coachman sent, and his Twitter handle is @thecoachespn. Breaking news. Last night in Dublin Survivor Series, at WWE Champion, at WWE Rollins, which is Seth Rollins' Twitter name, by the way, and at WWE is obviously WWE's Twitter. Let me continue. Let me just read it again. Breaking. Last night in Dublin, Ireland, at WWE Champion, at WWE Rollins, suffered right ACL, MCL, metal meniscus tear, out 6 to 9 months. And then he tweets again, at WWE to hold at WWE to hold tournament at hashtag Survivor Series to crown a new hashtag WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And he posted these tweets at 2:37 p.m. on November 5th, 2015. And then it says, details surrounding the Survivor Series tournament have not been finalized. The event takes place Sunday, November 22nd, and will air live only on WWE Network. Stick with WWE.com for more information on this breaking news story as it becomes available. They also said something on SmackDown that they're going to talk about more stuff with this on Raw. So, like I said, it sucks, but what can you do? Injuries happen, and the WWE has to do something. They can't have him keep his title if he's going to be gone for 6 to 9 months. Even though they say, well, Brock Lesnar was gone for 4 months with the title, they have to do something. I mean, if he holds this title for 6 to 9 months, Seth Rollins would the WrestleMania wouldn't have a WWE World Heavyweight title match, and that hasn't happened since WrestleMania 1. So it sucks, but you know these things happen. So like I said, I'm going to talk about this more in the Massasoit Wrestling Corner tomorrow, but I did say if they bring it up, I talk about it, so it does suck. But WWE has to do something, and these things happen. Injuries do happen. Unfortunately, it has to happen in this case. And like I said, this could be good. In long term, it could be good if they utilize it in the storyline, because they could bring Seth Rollins back as a babyface. Because you get a big pop, obviously, when he comes back. But like I said, that's the only positive. But it sucks, I know. But there's nothing they can really do. They have to do something, so they have to make the unpopular decision. But, you know, I figured I'd talk about it. So now I'm going to watch the main event and then finish off my review of SmackDown. Okay, so we get the main event, Dean Ambrose versus Kevin Owens. Good main event here. Thought it was solid. Ambrose dominates the beginning of the match, and then Kevin Owens takes control and dominates the rest of the match for a little while. And then Ambrose hits a superplex off the top rope, and he starts making his comeback, and he hits an elbow off the top rope. I like it when he does that spot. And then Kevin Owens goes for his reverse superplex, but he gets countered. And Kevin Owens hits a unique Samoan drop, but Dean Ambrose kicked out of that. Then Dean Ambrose hit a drop kick off the top rope. Owens kicked out of it. And then Kevin Owens hits a super kick on Ambrose, but then Ambrose hits a rebound clothesline. And then he kicks it. And then Ambrose kicks Owens in the gut, or we think so. But then Owens goes down like Ambrose low blowed him. So the referee calls for a disqualification, so Kevin Owens wins by DQ. But then when it shows it on the replay, it was actually clean. It didn't happen that way. So then Ambrose attacks Owens afterwards. He hits a suicide dive, starts beating the crap out of him, and then he hits another one on the other side of the ring. But then Owens escapes and Ambrose stands tall. So an overall good main event this week. I understand why they had to do that finish, because this is the first match of the feud, so you don't really want to have them anybody pin each other in a one-on-one matchup. However, I don't think they're going to do this match at Survivor Series. Maybe they still will, but maybe it will be in the tournament. Either that, or they'll just probably have separate matches in the tournament, because I think these two guys are going to be in the WWE World Heavyweight Championship tournament match. So I don't think they're going to do this match, but this was still a fine main event. So overall, SmackDown was an average show this week. I like the stuff in the beginning with Del Rio and the match with Neville. I liked the Usos returned to SmackDown. I liked the stuff with Kevin Owens and Dean Ambrose. But everything else was just boring. But there was enough stuff to make it an average show, so there you go. And this was an improvement for the SmackDowns that they've been putting on, too. The other SmackDowns have been pretty crappy, so this was an improvement for what they've been putting on. So I'll give it an average show this week, because they did improve this week, so I'm going to give them an average show. So that's pretty much it, guys. If you want to check out some other stuff on YouTube, you can check out my Less Than Fortune 44 channel up here, even though I already plugged it, but it doesn't hurt to plug it twice. You can check out my own The Talkinator channel down below. And my friend James the He-Man Hebert, who was also a co-host with me. But I don't know if he's really a co-host because there's 3 hosts of the show. So I don't know what you would call somebody else to host the show with you if there's 3 of them. But he also hosts the Master Story Wrestling Corner with me. And he has 2 YouTube channels. One is called James Hebert over here. And the other one's called Wayne Youth Wrestling. And that's pretty much it, guys. You can also click down below to check out some more content on this channel. And that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.